Byond exists to define purpose through holistic mentoring. At Byond, we will assist you to achieve success, enjoy inner peace, and live your best life. Basically, we're here to inspire you to heal and transform. Byond umbrella consists of Byond Talk, Byond Virtual Learning Space, Byond Coaching and Mentoring Services, and Byond Online Shop. For more information, visit us at www.sandraturgot.com or contact us at byondonline@gmail.com. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Byond Talk. I'm Aaron George, and my co-host,
Sandra Turgot, a little bit distracted.
Hello, Sandra.
Hi, Aaron.
How are you?
Oh, boy. It's that kind of Friday.
Happy Friday.
Thank you.
It's showtime.
It's showtime.
Right. Camera.
It's showtime. Action. Yeah.
I know.
Talk about improvising. We
Yes.
had a little bit of technical difficulty at the back there.
Yes. And it persists. It persists.
It did persist.
So those of you that are viewing this presentation, we are having some technical difficulties. We have a guest that's in West Africa, and there is some issues with her internet. But we're going to do our best, nevertheless, to go ahead and have a fantastic show. And we want to thank you all for joining us and for watching. Whatever time of the day that you are watching, we want to thank you and remind you and tell those that are new, what is Byond Talk all about? So Byond Talk is a social mentoring forum. It is a space designed to engage our community in thought-provoking conversation about real life issues, triumph, victory, success, grief, and in ultimate growth and finding your authentic self. This space is designed to inspire you to go after your healing and transform your life. And we know that in life, teachers and learners are interchangeable. And again, we want to encourage you to go for your healing, transform your life. Because one of the greatest tragedies in life is for us to lose our authentic self and to accept the version of us that is accepted by everyone else. And, we want to thank you again for joining us. And we're going to have a fantastic conversation. We're talking about us being called to be healers. We are all called to be healers. And the question is, have you answered the call? And we have a fantastic guest with us today, Comfort in West Africa. Sandra will introduce her formally in a little bit. But again, welcome. And here we go. Sandra.
Hi. Whoa. I know. Thank you, Aaron, for that. I was a little bit distracted using my laptop to share, which is kind of new because usually the other way around, but I'm using my phone tonight because I wasn't able to get on my laptop. Nonetheless, thank you guys for watching. We invite you to come on and say what you have to say. Before we start, we want to honor this month, Black History Month. We're honoring and remembering our history and the lives and the sacrifice of those that have gone before us. So before we bring out Comfort, we know that she's been having some technical difficulties. So probably if she can't get on tonight, we'll just talk about the work that she's doing. And she can just message us, inbox us. These things happen. We have no control over the internet and what happens sometimes. But Aaron, to start us off tonight, as we're talking about answering the call and just following the footsteps of our ancestors, I want to read a piece that I wrote a few years ago. And I'm gonna try my best because I kind of lost my mojo, because I was anxious about us getting this problem fixed. So I lost my mojo. Hi guys, but I'm gonna try to get it back as I read this piece. Center myself and get my mojo back so we can do an amazing show, right?
Yes, you will.
All right, so I'm gonna read this piece that I wrote about our history. So, guys, our history is important and extensive. Just a whole month to reflect, to meditate, to teach a few things about our journey. Our history is vast, it's gory, it's raw, it's real. It touches nerves and pull emotional cords. Our history is more than words, it's more than deeds, it's more than an excuse or an apology. It is so much more than February. Our history is the blood that flows in our veins and rushes through our bodies like horses galloping for freedom.
Wow.
Every time you dismiss our history or try to hide it in a month, we remember how you dismissed them, our kings and our queens, our fathers and our mothers. Our history is deep. It has created waves of triumphs and stilled storms of violence. Our history is the loud cry of our foreparents in agony and the quiet whispers of their hope. Our history is the moans and groans of our mommies and daddies, hoping their sons and daughters can just be children rather than outcasts and rejects. Our history birthed you, your destiny, your purpose. Our history transcends time, space, generations. Our history is immeasurable. Our history broke bones and healed wounds. Wounds of greed and arrogance and bones of perpetual poverty. Our history defies boundaries and borders and creates swellings of love and hope. Our history travels from sea to shore, continent, regions, territory, countries. Our history lives in the bellies of oceans and in the majesty of the sky.
Wow.
Our history can never be forgotten, wiped out, or rewritten. Our history lives in hearts and minds like yours and mine. Our history is you and you and you, my brothers, my sisters. Our history is us.
Wow. Can I give you an applause?
Yes, you can.
My God.
You can. That
Deep,
just
Wow.
sometimes. Sometimes, but I just wanted to read that piece. I had written that for a school I spoke at Black History Month
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to read it for us tonight before we start.
Powerful.
And just Aaron, so I don't know what's your take on this month. I know how you feel about it, but I hope that piece of work
Yeah.
inspire you to.
Oh, very much inspired me. It's grand, you know, and it just shows me a broader perspective,
Mhm.
and I think you captured that broadness of
Mhm.
what it means, you know, when we talk about our history.
Our history,
You
yeah.
know, it's not just something in a box. It's grand. It's, you know, it's original. It's
Mhm.
authentic. It's authentic. It cannot be hidden. It cannot be it cannot be overlooked.
Yes.
You know? Like wherever you search on this planet, you'll find history of, you know, our people,
Yes.
and works that our people have done. You know, and I think that was an incredible poem. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Nice.
So it seemed like Comfort is here. Comfort, can you hear us? Can you hear us?
You know,
Are you here? Are you here? I think. Okay.
think that
Yeah. No.
Hi, Comfort.
Shouldn't be.
Hi, Comfort.
poem.
No. It's not
Okay.
coming through. Not coming through properly.
Okay, so we're
Yeah.
just gonna continue without Comfort. So we were gonna have Comfort tonight. Just she was raised here in Canada, moved back to Ghana, and there she's she's doing some work with orphans and widows there on the ground in Ghana. So I wanted to really speak to her about the work she's doing there and how she's impacting her community. And the reason we are highlighting ordinary people who have been doing extraordinary work, who we call their heroes in their own way. They have answered the call, because as we've been saying week after week, that the call is really to serve. That's why we are here. We're here first to worship God and to serve each other. And I know that we're selecting people all over to talk about the work that they're doing without any support. Like, for example, they're taking their own monies, right, and they're seeing the need, and they're attending to these needs. And I think that is extraordinary.
Definitely.
And that's what we wanted to highlight her. When we went to Ghana the first night when we arrived, she put us up in her home because her mother knew my friend, or knows my friend, I should say. So we were able to dwell in her home for a night, and it was amazing. And she took amazing care of us. And I was just drawn to her after that when she told me about the work that she was doing there on the ground, which is phenomenal. So she can't speak right now for herself right now because she's having some problem with her internet, but let's highlight her, the work. Thank you, Comfort, for the work you're doing and for how you're impacting. I know that I myself have supported her efforts to buy food and for the elderly, for the widowed, and that, Aaron, that is what Jesus called us to do. He said, I was hungry. There's a scripture in the Bible that talks about, I was hungry and you feed me. I was homeless and you gave me shelter. And really and truly, that's really what we should be doing.
Yeah, I think when those that are blessed, those that have, should always give, and the more we give, right, the more we will receive, and the more we can give, right? Because it multiplies, right? It's a multiplier. Multiplier effect. But I think when we, are on this journey of healing, as we in turn, heal within ourselves, I think it gives us a freedom, a sense of freedom, a sense of I'm going to say, want to give more. Yes. More to others and do more to help others, right?
Yes.
You feel really empowered, that's why it's so important to deal with, your traumas and your past hurts and go within and make peace within yourself, and then, direct your energy to a positive cause, where you can help others to better their life, and I think that is the greatest journey, I think, ultimately, like you said, right, to being able to support others in their journey of healing.
That is the journey. That's why we're here. That is it, Aaron. That's why we're here. We're here to do good. We're here to help, to lend a hand. And that's our first calling, really, to lend a hand. It seemed like she's back. Hi, Comfort.
No.
So probably we'll just have her back.
Maybe another time.
Stay backstage. We could try again. Another week. I hope Chief is hearing us. We probably could try again. So sorry about that. So Aaron, we have a few people watching. So why don't we? Because our show was about comfort, and now somebody's saying hi, good evening, and somebody did say good evening. Can you take charge of that for me, because I can't see on my phone.
Somebody's watching from Ghana. Thank you for watching. I hope I said that right. Yes. So we thank everybody from all these different places around the world that are watching the show, and we appreciate you, and we hope that you get little nuggets, that will help you to enhance your journey, your healing, and to get a greater understanding of who you are, where you're coming from, and where you're going, and the importance of knowing who you are, knowing your history, within history within your family, and history within the broader sense, as a people, original, authentic. Well, maybe I shouldn't say authentic, but original people, and to re-educate and to relearn things that we haven't been taught, I'm going to say in mainstream, right, in our school systems, because that plays a big role in how we see ourselves, right, and
yes,
the goals that we set for ourselves and aspirations that we set for ourselves. I think once we connect with who we are, then it gives us we can change the script, and create our own script, or connect, to all the things about us and our people that's been hidden and been maybe from mainstream.
Definitely. So Aaron, let's talk because our talk was more around her, but let's talk. You and I know how to talk. so let's talk. Let's talk about our Black History Month. I know I just read a piece and some people
Beautiful.
didn't hear it. Thank you. Go ahead.
I could listen to that again.
No, I'm not.
I wouldn't want a copy. Is that in a different book, or is in the for her book?
No, it's not in the book. I just wrote this. I wrote this after the book. Yeah.
Oh.
I write all the time. So yeah, another book may be coming out soon.
You can send me that.
Definitely, I can. I can definitely do that.
It's so broad. And it touches so many different aspects. It seems so holistic, if I can use that word. About our history, because it's not one dimensional, right? Our history is multi-dimensional, multifaceted.
It is.
And there's a void. There's a real void in the most of the information, right?
Yes.
And I think it's impossible to say that you're healed if you don't know that broader history.
And that's the thing, and that's a piece. That's what we want to talk about. The fact that we need, if we know our history, I think that's where our healing begins. I went in search. I went reading and researching just to understand who I am as a Black woman in this society, and I didn't want somebody to tell me.
Right.
So I went back to the root. I like to talk about the root of the matter. So I went back to the root of why did I behave, or why am I behaving the way I'm behaving? Why do I get annoyed over some things? Why do some things just trigger me and bother me? And I realized that when I look back at the history, that a lot of these feelings, if you may, were brought down from generations to generations. The way we be, the way we show up. It was generations of hurt.
Yes.
Even a lot of us talk about not being loved. I wouldn't say not being loved. Let me change that. A lot of us experience love, but we didn't experience things like hugging and and verbalizing that love. Like really, our parents may provide for us, or a family member. We know they love us, they show up for us, but there was no touchy-feely expression of that, right? Right. So a lot of us, we grow up not knowing how to do that, not knowing how to be in love, and that's something that I myself had to learn that.
Right.
I had to learn that over the years, how to show, how to express it,
right,
and how to say it, because we didn't have that. But that came from generations of hurt, really. Our foreparents, they were hurting, so hurt people.
Right.
So we are, and we continue to do it. And Aaron is fascinated. I'm just gonna go there for a minute, because this week some young ladies were talking, and they were saying, and some of them are single, and like myself, and they were saying we can't find men. And one of the young ladies she said something that really struck me, because she said, they're there, but they're not healed, and they carry around so much hurt, so they don't know how to be with us, young Black ladies. So, and then I thought about our history really, and say, oh my God, this is hard, because a lot of young men, a lot of men, they don't know how to be. It's true. She was right. But I said to her, and she said something that makes sense. She said, I don't want to to be his therapist. I don't want to be my husband's therapist. I just want to be a wife. And that kind of hit home, because I remember being in a relationship in my marriage, and that's exactly how I felt. I felt like I was my husband's therapist.
Right.
I felt that way. Yeah.
So Arlette has wrote, what does healing mean? The chances are good that you think that behaviors that get in the way of your happiness and ability to thrive are inborn traits, but they're not. Some of them are maladaptive coping skills you learned in childhood, such as pushing off from or denying your feelings, trying not to draw attention to yourself, never allowing yourself to speak your mind, trying to figure out how to please people first. Arlette.
Wow. You want to speak to that?
People pleaser. I think coming up in my early years, I was very much a people pleaser. Always wanted to say the right things and do the right things and to please people. But that's not a good way to live, because internally, there's conflicts within you, and you can't be happy pleasing, being a people pleaser.
Yeah.
You have to come to know who you are, and be happy within yourself, and be happy with saying no when you need to say no, and be confident in the choices and decisions that you make. Right? So that's part of the process of coming into your own self, authentic self.
And it's a process, right, Aaron? It doesn't happen overnight. And when you're going on this journey, really, you have to learn to say no. And you will be viewed as being mean, being insensitive. But you have to say no to a lot of things, and you have to say yes to self. I find that that's where it's because it's about you. And you have to start letting go of the things that doesn't serve you. And sometimes that means letting go of people you care about, right? Because they don't serve you. They bring this kind of awful energy to your life, and it keeps you down. So I call it clean house. I did that when I was about 40 years old. I cleaned house. Totally clean house. I changed a lot of things. And it was hard, because people then like, who do you think you are, kind of a thing. But when you're doing self-work and healing, people will always ask, because they will see the shifting, and they will see the growth, and it makes them uncomfy. So they're gonna say, now who does she think she is? But you know that I don't want to stay here. I want to grow. I want to live in abundance. I want to have a healthy life. So you're gonna have to make that decision, and that decision is a hard one. I tell you.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. And I guess the struggle is mental. It's a mental struggle, because mentally we have all these attached things that we're attached to, and we use those things to help define ourselves, right? So that we're afraid to give them up. Like you always say, get naked.
Get naked.
You need to get rid of all these attachments, and just to discover our true self, and to find our true strength, within ourselves, because we don't need all those things.
No.
They're just Band-Aid, let's say, right, to help make us feel good. But we really don't feel good, because we have all these things, all these attachments to us. But once they're gone, right, and then you have that thought of mind, right, then you can start replacing them, with things that are more positive and constructive to help build you up.
Yes, definitely.
But I've like for example, like with me, one of the things that opened me up right, to the fact that I didn't know what I didn't know, was just failing in a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
feeling rejections, lonely, all the worst feelings. After hitting, to me, that going rock bottom, and awakening to what I was
Mm-hmm.
doing, the way I was living.
Yes.
And you really have to be, I'm going to say, humble. You really have to humble yourself, and
Yes.
remove any kind of a judgment that you have against yourself,
Mm.
so that you're just, you're having an experience.
Yes.
You have been conditioned in a certain way, right? And that just didn't work. It's not working. So you need to find another way, right? I know
Another
it's
way.
yeah, it's easy for me to say that now, but I know when in that moment, you don't feel like that. But you just gotta hold on and just breathe.
Yes. Yes.
Just look, just live to see another day, right? And then things will start falling into place. You can reach out and to get counseling, read books, renew, like we talk about, renewing your mind, filling your mind with new ideas, new concepts, and rebuilding yourself, your self concept, your identity, and so that you can stand alone, detached from anything, and then you can choose. At that point, once you know the difference, and once you're thinking, with a different perspective, then you can put yourself back together and be at peace.
And inviting healthy people in your life,
Right.
that's really important, because sometimes we want to hold on to the things we know, we want to stay in the comfort zone. But
Right.
really, healing means that you have to get out of the comfort zone and take risk.
Hmm.
It means that you have to go to the territories where you're not familiar with.
Right.
Like telling the truth about yourself. I
Yep.
had to tell on myself. I had to say, hey, girl, Sandra, you're a hot mess.
Mm.
I literally had to look myself in the mirror and say, right now,
Yep.
you're overreacting. You're a hot mess and you need to get
Right.
help, because every time
Yep.
this thing happens, it triggers you overreact, and
Right.
you find yourself in this anxious
Right.
space. So I decided that I had to tell myself the truth about myself. And that's when I say get naked, that's the beginning of the healing.
Right.
And I know we're talking about healing self, and as somebody was talking about healing our men and our men,
Right.
I want to go back there, because
Yeah.
I was saying, when you're really healed, you will start to attract healed people.
Absolutely.
It's like bees and
Yep.
honey kind of a thing.
Yep.
So, and I find that when I was attracting unhealthy people, it was because I myself was unhealthy too.
That's right.
The way I think, the way I show up.
Yep.
And even though you're not saying a word, your
Yep.
energy is in the room speaking
That's
very
right.
loud. And a
That's
person
right.
who is abusive,
Yep.
if you are unhealthy, a person who wants to take advantage will pick you,
Mm.
because the guy can see that, I can pick her. And I know I'm speaking from experience,
Yes.
because people tend to go for what's in them.
Right.
They see what's in you because it's in them.
Yeah.
We
And
we kind of like mirror of ourselves, right?
and it may not be conscious, it may not be a conscious thing, but
No.
subconsciously. And that's what you talked about. I think it's important to understand that the energy, that we're not just flesh and bones. There's energy. We're
Mm-hmm.
energy
Mm-hmm.
beings, and there's a whole another sense of communication that's going on the energy level, right? And that maybe we're not conscious of, but I think waking up to that and knowing that,
Mm-hmm.
the type of energy that you give off, and just based on the thoughts that occupy your mind at a subconscious level,
Mm-hmm.
you can make a conscious effort to change that. And
Yeah.
and once you recognize the type of energy you're putting out, you can change it, and you start attracting people that have the similar thoughts. And I think one of the most detrimental things to relationships, you know, is when two people get together, they both have a background of, you know, hurts and pains and stuff they haven't talked about, and unable to talk about, unable to deal with, and they get together and then they start taking it out on each other.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
that's one of the
yeah,
worst things, you know, like,
yeah.
you know, I love this person, but yet, you know, we fight like cat and dog, right? But I think if we stop to figure out what's going on here and get help, if it's bigger than you two, than what you can handle, get intervention. There's courses, there's coaching, relationship coaching, and just to bring into awareness the things that you're not aware of. You know, the dynamics, the energy, the thoughts, the subconscious pain that you're carrying around, and the habitual habits, that the triggers, you know, and what causes those triggers, where do they come from, and why do you always want it? Why do you always pull it into your experience, right? I think it's so important to get to know all these things, to be able to help us to just have more healthy relationships.
Yeah,
Healthy
yeah.
relationships, because I don't think, you know, that people are bad,
No.
right? They just had bad experiences that they've never gotten over, and it's got a stronghold on them, and it's up to that individual to recognize that, you know, because, you know, me, I had anger issues, and it wasn't because I was a bad person. It's just that a lot of stuff happened, you know, that I didn't deal with. It was unresolved, and I brought it into relationship, and it just, you know, made a mess of my life early, and I had to realize, you know, I had to make a change. You know, can't live like this. 23 years old, you know, have a child, married, divorced, you know, within a 6-month span. It's like, what the heck? What's going on here? Right? We got to fix this. And you know, and I think, you know, for guys that are listening, you know, if you're in a bad situation, things can turn around, but it's up to you, right, to step back, you know, and be honest with yourself, and realize that, you know, the bad behaviors that you learned, maybe initially it wasn't your fault, but, you know, that you learned that you had these traumas to deal with, and you never it was never dealt with, never addressed. It was just put under the rug. And now you've come into a situation now where it's going to ruin your life. Step back and just make those decisions to change. And it's okay. You know, it's okay. What's not okay is to continue, you know, with those behaviors, and relationship after relationship after relationship. And next thing you know, you're an old man, you're alone, your kids don't come around, you don't, you know, and life, you regret your life.
And you miss out on living an abundant life. Yeah. Let's not forget, because really and truly, when you don't deal with it, you're living a mediocre life. You're not really living. You're basically just surviving, if you may. And that's really, really, really sad. And I don't think that's what God called us to do or to be. And you're right. And then we produce more of the same. So you produce sons that don't see the value in loving and loving his wife or his significant other and getting his own healing. So you kind of don't. So you have to be mindful that you don't produce more of the same. I think that's a problem in our community. It's like a reproduction of a lot of the same. But if we take a stand, we can stop it. We can absolutely stop it. It doesn't have to continue. And our girls, I say this all the time, our girls, our daughters, and you're a grandfather and I'm a grandmother, our grandkids, our granddaughters need great, I'm not going to say good, but great husbands. And for us who are grandparents, we need to give our granddaughters and our grandson the tools so that they can make great couples. Let me use the word great, amazing couples.
Yeah.
Because we're tired of this.
Yes.
No, daddy's not at home. You know, mommy has to do 2 jobs, and our daddy left home, and mommy and now mommy, we can't afford this, we can't afford that. It has to stop. It's foolishness for no reason.
We have to create
It has to stop.
a new cycle.
We have to.
New cycle.
We have to.
And you know what? I think at some point in whatever lineage you're in, at some point, somebody has to draw the line in the sand and say, this is it. Enough's enough. We're going to make a change. You know, granddad was an alcoholic, used to abuse grandma. Father was an alcoholic, you know, didn't really do much with his life. And now it's come to me. I got to make that decision. And
I have to. Yeah.
I think sometimes it's not, you know, I think a person doesn't just get up and say they're going to make a change, that I'm going to be different. So here's what what I hear a lot of people saying. I don't want to be like my father. I don't want to be like my mother, but they wind up doing the same things in most cases as their parents. Right. So you have to understand, again, the energy and self-talk.
Change is hard, Aaron.
I know.
Change is so hard, and that's why we don't make the change, because I like to say we're lazy people.
Of course,
it's hard. It's hard to show
the path of least resistance, right? But
it's hard.
Honestly, it's so important. You know, the universe is going to push you.
Yes.
Life is going to push you.
Yes.
Right. I mean, life is going to push you. It's going to be painful. Right? It's going to be painful, but it's going to be worth it. To get naked, to get to the point where you just give up all the learned behaviors that's messing up your life, the attachments, the anger, the, you know, whatever it is that's holding you back. Right? It's going to be painful, but you have to learn new ways of thinking, new ways of being, new ways of communicating with yourself. And to be intentional.
That's the word.
Intentional. About you know your experiences, the experiences that you desire to have. Right? We cannot just leave it up to chance. We have to be intentional, create new habits.
Yes.
Right? And it takes time to create new habits of thinking. I was a negative thinker, and I remember whenever a negative thought would just come into my mind, I would have to replace it with something positive, make a positive statement 8, 9, 10 times just to get rid of that. It's so important to take charge of your thoughts, and as you take charge of the way you think, you can definitely lead your life into a different direction. And just to talk again about Sandra, about creating this new cycle, you know, I've seen a new cycle in my life. I've seen a different cycle. I have sons. I have a son that's a father of a 4-year-old, and you know, this young man is so intentional with his young daughter. You know, you made a comment earlier, but we have to have sons that can become great fathers to their daughters and their son.
This is how we change. This is how we create a new cycle. Yeah.
Loves her dad like crazy. I cannot come between her and her dad.
That's amazing to watch, eh?
She is so incredible. Like, you know, I will want to do something for her. I said, nope, my daddy's going to do it for me. My daddy's going to do it for me. I mean, this is just a little snippet, but I see a new circle created in my own lineage. My son is having different experience than what I had. And why? Because we had conversations.
Right.
I didn't hide, you know, the experience that I had with his mom. I didn't run away and hide. And this is how things get recreated when we're not open about it. We're not, you know, we don't talk about it.
Yeah.
We don't disclose it. Right? We have to have conversations with our uncomfortable conversations, because we want them to make different choices.
Mhm.
We want them to live differently. And one of the proudest thing that I can see with my son is how intentional he is as a father.
That's amazing.
Spending time with his daughter, teaching her. My granddaughter was born in West Africa, Republic of Benin. And she spent the first 4 years of her life there. And so my son, being able to speak English, is a French-speaking country. He taught my granddaughter from the time she was 2 till now to speak English. She speaks English only to him. She speaks French to her mother.
Oh, wow. Interesting, eh?
Yeah, we have to teach our kids. We have to
Wow.
spend time with our kids and teach them, spend time with them and teach them and develop them. Right. And I mean, I say all this to say my son is very intentional as a father, and he's there to teach his kids. I mean, the language is just one thing, one aspect of all the things that he's doing. But I think it's the most visible and most impactful thing that he can do. And I say this to say that fathers, you may not have grown up with your kids. You may be going through a hard time right now, with the mother of your children. You may be separated from your children, but you know what? Things can change. You can change yourself, change the relationship with. I mean, you can't change how the other person responds to you, be it your spouse, but you're gonna change how you respond to that person and develop
Yes.
yourself
That's important.
for you, change
Yeah.
for you, and it's gonna impact your children. It's going to impact your children. And then that's how you're going to create a new cycle. Right? That's how we're going to create a new cycle. Right?
Creating a new cycle. That's the word for tonight, Aaron. We're pretty much out of time. It was short. We started a little bit late. But for those of you who are watching, we're so happy you join us. We're going to be continuing this conversation the next couple of weeks. We're going to be talking about that relationship. We're going to do our best to empower. That's why we're here. We're here to inspire, to empower, and so that we all can be transformed and live a healthy life. And of course, I know we have other races watching, but because it's Black History Month, and we're Black people, so we're talking to our people. No pun intended here, but we're
it's
talking to Black
universal.
fathers, and it is universal, but we want to talk to Black people because we have this issue in our community. And so I want to be selfish a little bit. This is our issue, right? So we want to fix this so that we can be beneficial to the rest of the world. That's what we want to do, and we know it's Black History Month, and we're talking about this because our forefathers, they suffer enough. They suffer enough for us to do better. And fathers, young fathers, old fathers, we're calling you. And like the lady was saying this week, we need husbands. And don't get mad if we go to another race, because really we're saying to you, do the work. Like Harlette put up just now, get counseling, get help, talk about it. Because as if your life depends on it, as if your children's lives depend. Like you want your children to succeed so bad, so you're going to do whatever it takes so that you can be a healthy father. Enough of the excuses. That's why I say our history is not. It's too much excuses. It's too much apology. It's too much I'm sorry. It's enough already.
Right. Do something about it.
You have all the power you need inside of you to change your life, every single bit. And it doesn't matter what your mama did, what your daddy did. I have my own story. But we can do it. We can change it. We can say, I'm not going to be them, like you said, and we can change it. But now that we know we have to go. So I'm going to leave you with that. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. For this generation, let's do it.
Yes.
Thank you all so much for watching. God bless. Have a great week.
We'll see you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Byond exists to define purpose through holistic mentoring. At Byond, we will assist you to achieve success, enjoy inner peace, and live your best life. Basically, We're here to inspire you to heal and transform. Byond umbrella consists of Byond Talk, Byond Virtual Learning Space, Byond Coaching and Mentoring Services, and Byond Online Shop. For more information, visit us at www.sandraturgot.com or contact us at byondonline@gmail.com.
Jack TV.